Okay, is that better? Sorry guys, we're just trying to get this dialed in. I know when the sound is bad, then it's terrible. We just did a sound check and everything was fine.
Yeah, it's always the way, man.
What's the sound like now?
I think it's good. I just don't get too excited.
Okay, I turned down the levels.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So guys, sorry about that, but your comfort is our priority. We want to make sure that the audio,
especially in these
audio
times.
and video.
Yes.
Man, well, it's good. It's good to see you guys. It's good to be back. Today is fun. Jackie and Jack went to see the Monet exhibit in the Denver Museum of Art. Yes,
we did. We went back at the end of February. So,
yeah, and the idea was to go see snow. Well, and see art, but they went up there to see a really good friend and hopefully see snow, and got to see some amazing art. And the Speechless exhibit is in the Dallas Museum of Art.
Well, it was.
Oh, it was. It just ended?
Yes. So both exhibits that we would talk about have ended, but
if you missed them, don't worry, you can catch them here.
Yeah, but we're luckily we caught them before they closed, so it was good.
That's nice.
I think the Monet exhibit closed February 22nd, and I think the Speechless exhibit was going on till March 22nd, but I'm pretty sure that closed down early. So here you have it.
So they're closed.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
Well, that's okay. You guys can catch it here. And Monet is amazing, though. He's one of my favorite painters.
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, he started the whole Impressionism kind of thing, or he's known sort of as the father of it.
Yeah. Well, him and a band of ragtag, other artists that were bucking the system at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't even consider it being a thing. He didn't want to really be called that. I don't know, but.
Well, Impressionist, if I remember correctly, it was a term that it was like a critique, kind of like a dig in a news report at the time, or like an artist's critique magazine or something. It was a dig at them, and then they embraced it. So that's where the term came from.
Yeah. It was a derogatory term, and but I mean, when you think about it, Claude Monet, C Money. You got you think about outdoor painting on. Oh, I always want to mispronounce this. I'm not good with French, but on plane. I
have no idea.
But it's where you're painting outdoors and you have your little French easel and you're going for the moment. So you're trying to capture the light on the water or on the trees, and it's that instant. Where you get it, and you'll get those painters out there and they'll paint a scene really quickly, just really, really fast. And then they'll wait for the light to shift a little bit, and then they'll paint it again, and and then they'll paint it again. And they'll keep waiting for the light to shift to capture the different moments. Yeah.
So you could show some of the images if you want to get into that.
Yeah.
Talk about it a little bit. So
I was thinking maybe before we get into the serious stuff,
so serious.
I have some memes.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, there's no shortage of memes these days, so.
Yeah. Isn't that true? So here, let me see. So I'm trying to listen through my ear thing.
Okay, so me explaining my grandchildren how a guy eating bat soup in China led to toilet paper shortage. That's silly.
I just love that. I don't know. I love that.
Yeah, the image along with that has been in quite a few memes. It's pretty clever. I like that.
Hey, you're just not listening. It all makes sense. You just got to take it all in. What's this one?
Family devastated when pet chews up life savings.
Oh yeah, isn't that the truth? Oh my goodness, I read one too where it was I'm guessing is a whole family around a fire or around a table or something, but they're like, Grandpa, tell us a story from the olden days, and the grandpa's like, well, before the toilet paper wars of 2020, we were rolling in the stuff. We had so much we would decorate the houses of our enemies with it.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good one.
Oh, you saw that one?
And this, yes, classic.
Yeah, if this painting was done now, this is the way it would look.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just memes, you gotta love them. But yeah, let's. I'm working on a painting back here. It's a commission, and so I don't. Almost hate to share commissions before the people say it's okay.
Well,
but it's what I'm working on in the studio, so it's here.
I mean, it's cool. I think it's still in a very like
Early
beginner,
days.
yeah, early state. So I think it's still cool.
It's really very early stage, but I'm having the best time with it because in the painting there's 2 dogs, there's 4 cats, there's trees, there's water, there's an umbrella. So I got to be happy. And there's a dock. Oh my goodness!
It's always fun. It's always fun when people want to commission and they have like a slew of animals that you want to include, and you're like strategically placing them in logical spots. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah,
to figure out.
It's interesting because it does make a like for this commission, which I'm having the best time with. It's interesting because there's going to be a moon, but then you also want the forest, and then you want the people, and then you want the animals. So, and some of the animals are cats, so they're really small, but then the other elements are really big. So to be able to work out the composition, where it all kind of makes sense, but it's fun.
Yeah. So Brian joined us. He said he found a big thing of Purell yesterday, and it's like he struck gold.
Wow! You start selling that in little baggies.
I know. Just on the street corner.
Man, oh man!
And he said, "I want 12 hidden aardvarks in his commission."
They better be hidden.
Yeah, underground. Okay. All right. So you're showing some Monet images.
Yeah, I pulled that up, and what do we have here?
Okay, so this exhibit obviously was at the Denver Museum of Art, and it was called "The Truth of Nature," and it was about 120 paintings spanning Monet's entire career, and it showed pretty much his relationship with nature and how it changed over time. I thought it was interesting because normally when you go to exhibits like this, they do it chronologically, like the artist's life and how their art changes, and they did that a little bit, but on this one they did it according to location. So it wasn't so much about like this is what he was doing at this stage in his career. It was more about how the place affected that set of paintings he was doing. So he did, and you can go on to like another one. He did, some really great ones of the Normandy coast and sunny Mediterranean images, and actually the sunny Mediterranean kind of image. Like keep going to another one. Oh, sorry, that's not a Monet. That's not a Monet either. Well, that's a Monet. Anyway, so some that he did actually really reminded me a lot of your work. If he painted any sort of buildings in it, or like used the really bright colors, it reminded me quite a bit of your work and all of that. But anyway, so some of these images I grabbed like close-ups because it was so fascinating, and this is what I really enjoy about going to see art, is especially in old masters and all that, is when you can go when you can get close enough and you can see the brush strokes. You can see like the actual, I mean, because it's one thing to see the image just backed up or digitally or whatever, and you're just kind of walking by it in the hall or something. But if you get really close, almost to the point where you think it's going to get awkward with like the security guard, mm-hmm. and you can really like see the brush strokes and maybe a hair from the brush that was left in it or something, and it just feels a little bit more tangible, like you're there, like that moment of time still exists. So that's really why I like going to see this sort of stuff. Is his work is beautiful, and then on top of that, you can get close enough to really see the brushstrokes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I am, every once in a while, a museum or a collector will let me touch paintings, but a guard though let me touch a Monet once, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and you were talking about the brushstrokes and things, and it's so interesting to be able to actually feel the paint, the way it was laid down, and that it's one of the kind of nice things about Monet, and I can only imagine being at that exhibit, seeing how they would play with color and all, and that's something I could do. I might have white. Hey, could I have 2 pieces of white paper over there?
Yes. Hold on.
Did I leave it?
I mean, no, I don't have any white paper.
Oh, okay.
Next to me.
Oh.
Do you still want white paper?
Well, if we had it, but if we don't, that's all.
Oh, I can go get some. Do you want me to go get some?
Oh, if you don't mind.
Okay. You can talk to the crowd.
Thank you. I thought I had some on the table there, so sorry.
No, I clean. You're crazy.
Oh my goodness, clean. Well, I thought it was really nice of the guard though. It was a willow tree, and you could actually feel like the texture from the the leaves and stuff. It was going down. It was just, I don't know. It's so cool, so much fun. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I thought maybe I could show what broken color and stuff.
So while you're preparing that, Ron Captain has joined us and says, "Hey guys,
hey, it's good to hear you.
You can't get that loud.
Oh, it's good to hear you.
It's good to hear you. Your mic is definitely doing something weird over there.
Oh, is it?
I mean, it's just a little staticky every time you get close to it. And then Mike had joined us and said, "How are paintings commissioned, and what does that mean?"
Well, sorry. Hey, Jack.
I just wanted to know what was happening.
What, buddy?
Wanted to see what was happening.
Oh well.
You want to join the party?
We're talking about Monet. Jack went to the Monet exhibit too. He's over there. But with commissions, somebody we usually have an idea for a painting, or sometimes maybe it's an event or just an idea like a life event or something that happened. Like sometimes like a wife will want to commemorate like the time that her and her husband met. So she'll have like a idea of like for a feeling, and so sometimes it's hard to put into words, but whenever I hear music, I see color. So sometimes you can I can play the music that has those same feelings. So like she'll say, "Oh, I really love this musician," or "I love this song," and then I'll listen to that while I'm playing, while I'm painting, and then I pull those colors into it, and that's. But commissions are so much fun. One of the things about commissions is I never take money down for them or anything. I which is different than most artists. I don't know. I think art ought to be fun.
Well, it helps with you feel a little bit more free, I think, and then there's not the awkward obligation if and they're not excited about it. Yeah,
and so it's really nice because like we'll have ideas, and it's really cool to get out of your own head and to be in someone else's head a little bit, and to see what they're interested in, what they like, and then and be able to do that and experience that in different ways.
So Eileen from Roanoke joined us and says hello. My mom has joined us and says hello.
Well, hello.
And Vera is tuning in from France again. Thank you for joining us.
It's good to see you.
So you're still on the Monet image. I don't know if you want to like go back to yours or what you're doing over there. This actually this image that you've got up right now is the one that when I first walked up on it, I was like, that feels a bit like your paintings because it just had really bright oranges with the light blue sky, and again, it's you have a little bit of an impressionistic style, and so this, I don't know, this I really, there were a few there that I just absolutely loved, and this was one, and then there was another one of some Normandy coast where you just saw these rocks and just the horizon line, and the colors are just. I mean, they play off of each other brilliantly. You just, I don't know. It's magic. It's magic.
I love Monet. And I love his use of color. He started losing his eyesight in his career. Like when he started getting cataracts, and they were so bad that he finally had one of his lenses removed. And then when that happened, he started being able to see a little bit of UV color and whatnot, apparently.
That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that weird? And then and it made it where he started thinking about color in a whole different ways. And he started thinking about color being more like emotion and stuff. So he would get a little pot of paints, and he would go into the museums where they were already showing his work, and he would start correcting his paintings, start making the colors the way that they should be with his new ideas. until finally they were like, "Oh no, Claude," and he was banned from the museums. They wouldn't let him in anymore.
Oh no, Claude. No, you don't.
No sea money.
What's the next image? Okay, this is another close up. This is I just really enjoyed again looking at the brush strokes, and he would dabble color in. And you back away from it, and it's in true impressionistic style. You back away, and you see like this beautiful whole image, and you make out everything. But close up, it's just these sort of loose strokes that you'd never guess that it made this beautiful image once you really backed up from it.
one of the things I thought was interesting about Monet, like if you look at his palette, he never used black. He didn't use black in it
I
at
remember
all.
that. Yeah.
They're just like dark blues, purples, but yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, I use black in every painting, and it's it's kind of it'd be crazy. Okay, here's what I've been doing. Sorry, guys, I've been distracted over here. One of the things about the Impressionists, with Monet, is that they would use broken color, which I love. Like the paintings that are hanging on the wall behind Jackie over there,
Yeah.
is a lot of broken color. But it's just the idea of being able to have overlapping color, and some of it's a little transparent, some of it's not, so that so there's different like subtle shades, and there's a mixing of color as well. So you can have a if you have a yellow that's next to a blue in your eye, it'll mix and it'll look green. There's no green on there, but it'll look kind of green. And then there's another one where they'll use complementary colors, so that one color will make another color actually look brighter.
Yeah, more vibrant or something.
Yeah. So I wanted to show that here really quick. Here, let me show this really quick. Okay. You have to tell me if it shows up.
So that's orange. I mean, I will say that it could be the light on your canvas could be brighter, but that's orange. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it should be red.
Oh. From here, it looks orange.
But you know what just occurred to me? I have all these trees up here.
Yeah.
I made this, and I probably didn't even need to.
Oh no! I mean, you got plenty of green on that painting.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. So anyway, but the idea though is that like you have a green paint, and then you have a red paint, but then whenever you put them together, it actually makes them change a little bit. Like they actually become more green or more red.
Yeah.
So I don't. Is Monet crazy? Is he not?
Genius?
Is he a genius? I think he's a genius.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go with genius.
But also it's sort of a subtle kind of thing as well. It's
yeah.
So but it works though. That's why if you look at NFL uniforms and stuff, they're always complementary colors. Yeah. Almost always.
Yeah.
Because it really makes it pop, and it's easy to spot, it's easy to see. So I mean, it's stuff that works.
Okay.
Let me see.
What else you got?
Let's see.
Okay. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, this is another Monet. You can go back. You can keep going. Okay. So this was in the Denver Museum of Art. This is not part of the Monet exhibit, but I really liked this section. Okay, there was a whole exhibit on the other side of the museum called the Light Show. Ooh. And basically explored physical and symbolic representations of light and art through a thought-provoking narrative. So what's funny about this is this exhibit really lent well to selfies and just hashtagging and whatever. But this piece, which I don't remember who did it, but it's basically puppets, and you're looking at the shadow side of it. But you were able to walk around to the other side and look at the how they were sculpted and all that sort of stuff. But they had all sorts of different things, and they had sculpted lamps. They had all sorts of different things that artists had played with light to either to manipulate the art, or the light was the art, or anything, all the way down to those mirrors that are the infinity mirrors. They had that, and that was a big art piece that you could stand in, and so that was pretty fun. That was a good little side trip at that museum while we were there.
Oh, well, that's cool.
And so and then this is Jack. I just threw this one in, and this was probably Jack's favorite art piece. I didn't catch the artist's names. It was just one of their side pieces that they have as you're walking through the museum, but it's a robot made out of, I believe, old TVs, and then there's an old phone in its chest area.
No.
So it was Jack finally perked up. The Monet was like, meh, and then when we saw this little robot, he was like, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So anyway, that's another close-up Monet.
Oh, wonder if that's it.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, we've already looked at that. Oh, okay. Well, this is another picture of Jack, but in the background, this is us in the elevator at the Denver Museum of Art. And I thought this was cool because there was an exhibit going on basically all over the museum of a woman named Chantel Martin. and called Words and Lines.
Uh-huh.
And it's an interactive multimedia installation. And she's a London-born, New York-based contemporary artist. And it's basically, she has like these signature black and white drawings that almost look like doodles, and they were everywhere. I mean, the entire museum was basically covered in them, even the elevator. So, I snagged a picture of Jack looking at all the stuff. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was another cool one.
Oh, that's neat. That's cool. What's this?
Okay. Oh, so this is again at the Denver Museum of Art. When we were there, they have this whole little section where the kids can create stuff, and adults if you're brave enough. And they had this huge backdrop, and they had easels and paint set up and everything, so kids or anybody really could go up there and then just sit like Bob Ross style and just paint this huge backdrop or whatever you wanted. But I thought it was cool because we go to the Dallas Museum of Art all the time, and this was just kind of like a new creative children's space with things that I hadn't seen at the Dallas Museum of Art. So I grabbed a couple of shots of that, and there's probably another interesting one. You can keep going.
That's cool. That sounds like fun.
Okay, and then this one, I thought was pretty cool because this one I did. And what it is you take shaving cream and you just put like a thin layer on a tray, and then they give you it's all sitting on the table, so you can just do it. You don't need any help. But they give you these bottles of different colored inks, and you can pull a Monet draw, because the big exhibit there was Monet. So you pull like your favorite Monet or an example with like the colors broken out, and you pull that off the wall, and you go and you sit with your tray with like the shaving cream, and with the ink bottles you really loosely try to recreate the painting. And then once you do that, you have like sticks where you can kind of draw it out or whatever in the shaving cream, and then you take a piece of paper, lay it flat on the shaving cream and pull it up, and it leaves basically the image on a piece of paper and shaving cream, and then it'll eventually dry out. So I thought that was pretty cool. I know, I thought that was like a really fun activity that, again, I hadn't seen that at the Dallas Museum of Art, and it seemed like a pretty easy setup. They had like at least 15 stations where kids or anybody could do this. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat. I bet it smelled good.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just me looking. Nancy grabbed a shot of me listening to the audio track of some more Monet paintings.
Oh.
And this was right when we were getting into, I forget where he was here, but when he started exploring like how to paint snow, it was funny. Like they talked about how it was a little difficult at first. Like that was something he I wouldn't say struggled with, but it took a bit longer to figure out. And those paintings were just beautiful because there's not really any white. It's maybe creams or pinks or this or whatever, but they're just gorgeous once he kind of figured it all out, and it was beautiful.
That's interesting. He's so known for his water lilies and whatnots.
Yeah. So, and this was another one of my favorite. This, I believe, is some of the Normandy coast where you just see the rocks in the water. And anyway, beautiful. Again,
were the rooms really big that you're in? Like, were the galleries huge, or were they smaller?
They were
rooms?
Decent size. You didn't feel too cramped with people, and everybody that did it, like walked it with the audio tour, and that kind of led you in a direction. So there was plenty of opportunity to like wait a second, and you could then get close to the painting. So it wasn't like when we went and saw Frida at the Dallas Museum of Art, you couldn't even see over people's heads, which was nuts. Okay, so really quick, this is the DMA exhibit, but before we go into that, hold on a second. We had some people join us, and Tanya Smith says, glad to see you, John, Jackie. Love you guys. And John, you do an amazing job as always.
Oh, thank you.
Ron said, hey, Jackie, on my feed, you're behind the live logo on my screen. Is anyone else having this issue? So I don't know. I don't know if I can duck or... Actually, I guess I can scoot over this way. I don't know if that'll help, but it's all about John's painting anyway.
Is that better?
It might be. I don't see it on mine because my screen's different.
Oh.
Sharon Quintel joined us, says hello. Apparently other people have the same issue. So I'm scooted over.
That's good to know. So we might want to have us at the bottom or something instead of the top.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Look at you with your ideas.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, it's not about me anyway. It's about him. He's the star.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Hold it.
All right, so
There we go. I forgot which screen we were on.
all right.
Let me see. Sorry, guys. This should be this one.
No, one more.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
That's what I get for being silly.
Ron said, "Can you move to the bottom? Why don't you put me at the bottom?
Let me
Switch it up.
It should.
Oh no, you're grabbing the other one.
Oh, okay. It should snap you down there.
Okay. Sweet.
Should I go down there too?
You're not an issue. Apparently, I am.
Yeah, but now that whenever I talk to you, I'm gonna have to do this. Hey, you. Hey,
Oh, wait. Let's see. I gotta be like, "What's up?"
Okay. I feel like I'm in the Brady Bunch.
It's pretty dorky. Very dorky. Okay, well, that's good to know.
A story about it.
You just can't laugh or anything really loud into the mic. Okay, so this set of pictures, I feel like we're giving our slideshow to our vacation. This set of pictures is when we went to see the Speechless exhibit at the Dallas Museum of Art, which if you guys didn't get out to see it, you kind of missed out, man, because it was different. It was interesting. This is a picture of John and Eagle in one of the rooms, and he's sitting on one of the structures that was there. Basically, if you want the I'll give you the lowdown. This exhibit was curated by Sarah Schullening, I believe is her name. She's one of the curators at the Dallas Museum of Art, and it was inspired by her I believe 6-year-old son who was nonverbal for a long period of his young life. You know, he didn't communicate the same as, I guess. Well, he has a sister, and so while this was happening in their family, they know Sarah and her husband noticed that her son and daughter would had this sort of communication, because her daughter would, I guess, I don't know how to explain it, but knew how to communicate with him, kind of almost like childlike. It wasn't, I mean, she sat and listened. She knew, and then she would relay to the parents like what he kind of wanted or what was going on. So this whole thing interested her in how we as a people communicate visually, versus just being able to blatantly say something to each other. So this whole exhibit is, I believe it is, okay, it's 6 installations by 7 different artists. And you walk into the room, and it's basically like you walk into kind of like this curved room, and then there's rooms that are all set off of it, and so it's like choose your own adventure style. You can kind of decide where you want to go, and each room has a different sort of I don't know, experiment in how your senses might take something in the artist's commentary about it. So before this even came to fruition, she had a meeting with some artists, and they had a big powwow, and they also invited some different scientists that were from, University of Texas at Dallas Center for Brain Health, and also to different people to see how they could build this exhibit to be inclusive and make this sort of statement. So anyway, here we go.
That's really, what, one of the things I liked about it too is that we work with museums trying to do different tours, and we're working with children and adults that have different disabilities. And if you have a group that has children that has autism, you can make the visit so much better if you plan it out where you have rooms or areas where there's lots of activity, and then some areas where it's quieter. And I thought this exhibit was so nice, because they actually had rooms where headphones and stuff where you could kind of go there and just kind of shut out everything. So and just sit down, and They had other rooms that were chaotic. They had lots of things to touch and feel, and you could touch everything. And then it was nice how it was, you it was all about touching and all about the senses, but then you could also shut the senses off in some rooms, which was nice.
Yeah, they had a room. It was called the de-escalation room, and they had weighted blankets and headphones. And this room was interesting because it wasn't an art piece you went into. This was sort of a conclusion to the exhibit.
Every grocery store needs a de-escalation room right now. I think before you're allowed to buy toilet paper, you've got to spend 10 minutes in the de-escalation room.
I'm sure people would love that, especially now that we're all stuck at home with each other. But it was cool. It's cool because the entire exhibit, I mean, they have like a book that goes along with the entire exhibit, and the pages from that book were all over the walls in this de-escalation room. So if you were uncomfortable going to experience one of the rooms or any of the rooms, you could go into this de-escalation room with a weighted blanket, and then you could just look at it via this book that was completely like on the wall everywhere.
And I forgot about that. And that's another thing, that if you're going to a museum or a gallery with a person who has special needs like that, sometimes it's great if you can show them a plan of what it is you're going to go see. So you can show them like the front, maybe there's artwork out front, the door, the layout of the building, just everything. So when they get there, everything is a little more familiar. So that's such a great room because you could go in there and you can look at the exhibit and then go into the room, and it just makes it sometimes for people with special needs, it's just too much coming in.
Yeah.
So if you kind of know what to expect, it kind of softens it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I forgot about the book.
So in the picture that you just put up was, we were in one of the rooms by an artist named Misha Kans. And in this room, it was cool because you walked in and there were these like cocoon-like inflating structures, and they were powered by an internal vacuum system. So it was built into the floor of the gallery. So when you walked into this room, you walked up a ramp about 6 feet. You didn't realize it, but underneath this entire floor that they built was the vacuum system, and you were invited to press this like yellow squishy button, and when you did that, it would strategically inflate the different weird forms all through this room.
There was a button?
Yeah.
I was wondering. I thought everything was just sort of automatic. There was a button.
Well, it was. I mean,
it's sort of both.
We didn't press the button because people had walked in right before us and pressed it. So it I don't know, like, weird. But when they de-inflated, you could sit on them. So this is what we were sitting on them, and anyway, it was weird. It was an interesting one. I had a hard time kind of wrapping my head around this one because they took a while to inflate and deflate. I
thought it was cool. It was neat being in there because the deflation and inflation made sounds, and the people made sounds.
Yeah.
And then they felt interesting. It was like they put the cloth over the plastic, like over these inflatables, like that, and that felt kind of neat. Like the cloth up against that rubbery plastic.
Yeah.
It would sort of slip around and stuff, and it was like jellyfish.
It did. It had an underwater jellyfish feel. Yeah, there's a big image, a picture of like if you just walked in right before, and some deflated and some inflated all at different times. So it was just like, it was weird. It was cool, just weird.
I was thinking it'd be really cool for like a sleepover. If you're a kid, you have a sleepover party in that room. that would be pretty amazing.
Okay, so this is you in the room with all the spirals. What is this one called?
Oh, like all the cloth. It's everywhere. It's on the floor. It's on the walls.
Okay.
I don't know if it was in the ceiling, but it was on everything.
It was everywhere. It was in the ceiling.
Was it?
I think it was in the ceiling. So it's by it's a art piece called Scroll Space, and it was done by artists Stephen and William Ladd. And basically, it was a showcase of textile scrolls that they did with the community. It was kind of hard to understand exactly how this worked, but outside of this box that you walked in to where all these scrolls were, there was 1,000+ pictures, like headshots of kids, adults, people, just anybody. And I think this whole thing was about bringing the community together to create these scrolls, and then they placed them in this box.
It was kind of cool. It was like a room with this giant box in it, and you would walk inside the box inside the room.
Yeah.
It was almost like a cat in a hat sort of thing, like a box in a room.
Yeah, and it felt a little bit to me like you were walking into a fabric store. Because you could pull the reams and be like, I want this fabric. So that was really cool. That's like almost the first room you kind of automatically walk into. So it's sideways, but this is like a side of a shot of them coming out of the wall.
That sounds cool.
It was pretty neat.
It was fun to walk on too.
Okay, so this is that room where it was all dark. This one was probably my favorite. So initially, when we walked into this room, I was really confused. I was like, it was pitch black. There was this giant black globe in the middle.
Oh,
and I didn't know what to do with it. We walked in and I was like, what? And there was nobody else in the room to kind of look to them to see what they were doing. But then as you get closer to the globe, you realize that there's maybe sound coming from it. And so then you realize, oh, if you put your ear next to it, it's like clear sound. So in basically this piece was done by Yuri Suzuki, and it's called Sound of the Earth Chapter 2. And what he did was he built this big giant globe and recorded 60 different audio tracks. And I think that people are still submitting audio tracks. I think there's like an online website where you can submit audio tracks to it.
Wow.
And he'll place them in the globe where the track came from. So like he's got nature sounds, he's got people arguing, he's got construction. It was all, but wherever you listen to was where that sound was coming from that was sent to him. So
it's cool.
Yeah,
so as you walk around, it changes. Like you put your ear and you're like, what's over here?
I know you wanted to walk the whole thing and just like you're all over this thing, which would be bad now to touch any of it, but it was really cool. That was probably my favorite piece out of everything because it was just so contrasting. This one was really interesting. This one was it's by an artist named Any Archibongs, and it's theoretical.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it was the one with the light things that you move. And if you turn them if you turn them, they come on and off. And,
yes.
And it changes the sound in the water and all that.
Yeah. So when we first walked into it, I think we knew you could move them because they tell you just be careful that you can do that. But I didn't know what they did. I mean, you just moved them and it was like, that's cool. And then there's I think like 9 of them or 7, I don't remember, in a circle. And as you walked up to different ones, they did different things. So if you moved them, they either like, some changed their light. They dimmed or changed colors. Some changed a sound that was coming from speakers in the top of the room. And then some actually manipulated this water, which you can see in the photo. There's a little pool of water. And as you moved it, it would change the vibrations that were happening in this pool of water. So, of course, Jack's like, woo!
Yeah, that was cool. I felt like I was on the bridge of an alien spaceship.
It was really, I know, it felt like a control, like, yeah, you feel like you're on some weird control panel. It was just a trip.
You start trying to get, it's like you move it and it makes things different, like the sound's different, or the light becomes different, or other lights somewhere else will, go off, or it was fun. Yeah,
it was a cool one. Okay, so this is the room where, this is an artist named Matt Chakowski, and it's called Glyph, and this was a film installation where he was being interviewed, and they were translating the words from the interview into whatever was the first image that would appear on Google. So as he's talking, and you can kind of see the words underneath it, but as he's talking, an image would pop up that was the first image that would appear if you Googled that word. So that was a cool one. It took a minute to realize kind of what was going on. And then it was funny because that probably was Jack's favorite piece, because once he realized that it was like all about the tech and Googling images and this and that, he was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then he wanted to sit there for the whole interview. And I was like, no, we got to go.
That's cool. I liked how they used the sound too, because they had like the interviewer and the interviewee like on opposite sides of the room, and the speakers over there. So when they would ask a question, it was like I think they had a projector, on them. So it was like the person was sitting over here, and then the other person's standing over there, and then the sound's coming from there. But then I guess all the words are being translated. It was cool. It was fun.
Okay, so this is not part of Speechless. We're moving on. This was the same day that we were there. When we were seeing the Speechless exhibit, one of the docents there that was watching over the exhibits said, hey, you guys should go check out this other one at the other end of the gallery called The Visitors. And we walked into it. It's by an internationally renowned artist, Ragnar Jartansen, which I'm massacring that name. But when we first walked into it, it was kind of like, meh, it was cool. It was kind of contemporary, weird. I don't know. It was all right. And then we walked around this like corner, which was the back part of his front part of the exhibit, I guess. And as you walked in, it was this really cool, long, large, what felt like a really large hallway. And it had 9 screens on either side. This is the one where they were playing music as you went through it. Mm-hmm. And basically, it's an immersive video installation, and it's got 9 screens, and it depicts 8 individuals. They're musicians singing the same lyrics in separate rooms of this nearly 200-year-old rockabilly farmhouse in Hudson Valley, New York. And basically, like, one of the screens was all of them on the front porch of it, but every other screen was them in a room doing their instrument and then performing the song. So, and it's obviously synced so that they're all playing together like a big orchestra. And it was funny because some guy was in the bathtub playing his instrument, and then there was a guy obviously at the piano in the house, and that was really cool. That was a really cool piece.
I like how they did the sound too, because with each screen they had a little speaker above it, and that speaker was playing their instrument, or that the sound from that. So it gave it sort of a location in a way, so that almost like, even though it was recorded, it almost made it feel live, because instead of all the music coming out of a single speaker, they had 8 or 9 different speakers, with each one playing a different instrument around it. So the guy in the bathtub was playing his instrument over here, and then the violin over here, and a guitar over there, and it was that was kind of nice. It gave it more depth for me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So this was another image of a woman playing the cello in a different room. So.
Oh, I remember the cello.
Yeah, that was the first one you kind of walked out. And that's the overall room. It's really large. And as you walked in front of one screen, you would hear more of that particular instrument. But if you walked towards the middle, it was just kind of everywhere. It was surrounding you. It was really, 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 really cool.
And it sounds kind of simplistic, probably. I mean, just talking about it and everything. But when you were there, though, it I don't know. It almost had an impressive sort of feel, though. It felt bigger.
Yeah. Like
it felt like, it felt like something was happening or going on.
Well, the screens were huge. I mean, massive.
Oh, and I guess the sound and the people, and
yeah.
And it's funny, I guess, because of the screens, everybody was sort of pushed to the middle.
Yeah. You're right.
Which is interesting, but yeah. I think that's it.
Cool.
For that.
Well,
oh, you know what?
I wouldn't play the videos.
Oh, no?
No. Nah, we can move on. Everybody gets the idea. So, let me go through the comments really fast. So Mike said, "How is the painting of the dog licking the ice cream coming along?" Oh,
it's done. It's done. We I was able to post it on my Patreon today. Here, let me go grab it. I'll get on the wall. So I posted it on the Patreon along with the link for the comic book, or not comic book. I keep calling it comic book. The coloring book, the activity book for it. So I'll hold it up.
Yeah,
holding it in the right spot.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll post an image and a link to it on the website and everything. Yeah. Probably tomorrow or the next day, but. So I think it came out pretty nice.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, so I changed here. You know what? Let me try to put it up here. How's that? So, is this good?
Hold it down a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
And then still.
Yeah, well, I want to show because I changed some of the colors
Yeah.
over here, and so I changed to make it a little more playful. But it doesn't have to be completely exact, because then for the instead of doing chocolate up here, I put little colored fragments
Oh
because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice. You get a little candy in your ice cream, and so it's a fun little painting. But
Well, he
last
says.
year this time I did that mural of a dog being really excited about a hamburger.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of I don't know had to do another happy fun dog.
Well, Tanya Smith said that's so awesome, and Mike said, "Wow, that came out great."
Oh, thank you. Oh, Sam did one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was going to share that with people on Facebook and everything. Her version of it, which
That's
it's funny
cool.
because she texted me a picture of it done, and then she texted me a picture of the inspiration, which they have a boxer named Hank, and it's super cute because looks just like him.
That's just the way Hank would be probably with
and,
ice cream. Get all crazy. But
and Sean Keane joined us and said, "Ever been to Meow Wolf?"
No, we were, but the coronavirus we had tickets bought. Yeah, we had tickets. Everything we just got them refunded because we bought them way back when because I was doing a show in Albuquerque, and we thought, hey, that's great because we've been wanting to go to Meow Wolf forever, and so we bought tickets for it to go up to Santa Fe and see it, and the virus hit. But we will though. We'll get up there. But our friend Brooke,
who's on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, and I thought it might be fun to have her on, and ask her about Meow Wolf.
Photos of it too.
And she said it was a lot of fun. She went out there and she saw it, and was actually going to see it the same time we were, but then we ended up getting canceled because of it all. But so she's probably one of the last people to see it before the virus shut everything down because she just squeezed in, right there at the end.
Yeah.
But she said it was amazing. It was really awesome. But there was a lot of kids running around.
Yes, children. Anyway, so
I want to go there. Oh, and she said it was a little. You had to do a lot of crawling and things, or like there was some tight spots,
tight areas like hallways and staircases and stuff like that. So
yeah, so maybe if I went, I wonder if I would bring Eagle, or I might just use a cane.
Yeah, you'd probably be better off. I mean, she'll probably chime in, but you'd probably be better off using a cane.
Yeah, that's weird because
that's difficult though because. Eagle's always with us, and we can't leave her in the car. So
that's to leave her in the hotel room, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I hate doing that.
That would be weird.
So, anyway, are you actually going to paint tonight?
Oh no! That's
liar.
That's for Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
well, no, I mean I'm going to paint later, but I mean it's.
What else? While you're here, what are you going to do next to that painting? What's the schedule?
I'm going to finish blocking it out and adding more color. I had the water blocked out, but now I'm going in and trying to get the subtle little changes with it and stuff. And the trees are blocked out, but I'm going to add more. And there's actually going to be a limb coming down from the side of the water that we're on over here. So there's a limb actually kind of coming out and coming down. That's got some really bright deciduous sort of leaves. It's going to be colorful and wonderful looking. Got a really happy dog that's sort of in the water, kind of on the wet sand over here. Got to work on him, and all the people and everything. I've drawn them out, but I haven't blocked them out. The song that inspires the colors from this is actually Van Morrison's Moon Dance. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put a moon up in the top and all the colors. So in the trees, it's going to be more of the lower tones from the song. It has that sort of it has this nice little sort of rhythm to it. But then over on the other parts, though, I'm gonna have the higher, almost like the voice in a way.
That's cool. Well, speaking of Meow Wolf, Sean King said it's amazing, and they're blind too. So also, yes, you should definitely use the cane. You'd want to use the cane.
Oh,
and Brooke said use the cane.
Cool. Yeah, and you can use the cane to beat on the children to get them out of your way if you need to, like a back.
There you go.
Make way. Whenever I was in college, we live in a college town. We have two major universities here, and so lots and lots of college kids running around. And I was a college kid, but you could wrap people on the ankles. I've been a curmudgeon from very early on.
Curmudgeon. Yes, I concur.
Now, if you're at one of the pubs and you're going to get a hamburger, French fry, and some brews or something, like, get away. Get away. Need a refill.
So, cool. You're crazy.
Well, on Thursday, I think everybody get ready to get your nerd on. Thursday is going to be a lot of fun because we are going not to a galaxy far, far away, but to a time far away in the future.
Yes.
And we're going to board the Enterprise and set sail. Now we're going to be looking at the art and design concepts and different things that Star Trek has sort of inspired, and we're huge Star Trek fans, and it's going to be a ton of fun though because it's just interesting because all of Star Trek is made up. I mean, it's just a made up, fantasy sort of world.
Yeah, and I don't think, I mean, I'm sure people realize like the amount of thought that goes into the creative process for any show, really. But when John and I went to the Star Trek convention in 2017, I believe, or I don't know, a while ago, I went and sat in on sessions because that's what you do when you're dorky. And they talked about like the intricacies of everything dealing with the art of Star Trek. And it was just fascinating. It was fascinating. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it's, because I don't know. I love talking about Monet and I love talking about Van Gogh and all these things, but it's also fun to look at art that's being made today, and even if it's not fine art, it's art and it's interesting and it's telling stories and
crazy.
So it's interesting. So Thursday, get all your nerd friends together.
Yeah, tune in. We'll be doing it 8:00 same time.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Beam on over.
Sounds good.
Get ready for a lot of puns.
You're a dork.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining us for this. It was a bit of a different show tonight. It
It's
was
weird
like
that you didn't paint.
We had a ton of photos to go through, so I was mostly doing that. So that's sort of that's what we did. So it was a bit of a different show, but that's cool.
Yeah,
mix things up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just make regular shows of showing our vacation photos to people and see how popular that is.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I've been wanting to talk about Monet and stuff, so that's cool. That's awesome.
So, again, yes, tune in Thursday. We'll talk about Star Trek and all the awesome art that goes with that. And, be sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebooks, all that fun stuff. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.